All right, but before we get ahead of ourselves, I'm super excited to welcome our first guest. You guys know him from Bravo's $1 Million Listing LA. David Parnes joins us now. Hey, David.
Thank you, Justine, for having me on. I really appreciate it. How you doing?
All right, so what's it like not only working in real estate with a partner, but working with a partner who also happens to be your best friend?
As if the drama isn't intense enough between us and the other cast, we have the drama between each other. It kind of just doubles it up. But no, truthfully, it's great. James and I grew up together. Since day one, people don't really get that, but since day one, we have been best friends. And it's kind of strange in a way to progress into being business partners and doing what we do. It's great, but having someone by your side, being able to trust them, being able to bounce ideas off each other, very valuable.
So have you ever considered maybe going out on your own?
No, I think, look, we started this together. We've been in it together. We've been hugely successful together. Um, I mean, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right?
All right. Now, of course, you were in the business before you were on $1 Million Listing LA, but at this point, can you even imagine doing this job without being on the show?
You say that because actually we were approached by the show not long after we started out. So it's kind of, they come hand in hand. The thing is, we've only ever done this with the show. So I don't know, to tell you the truth, but I can tell you right now, it's great fun. It's been hugely beneficial, and I'm personally very grateful to have had this opportunity and been part of the show. And I used to watch the show before we were on it, so that was kind of like surreal. It's like you're watching an episode, right, of what I would watch anyway, and then we pop up. It's just like, trust me, it's very, very, very odd. Can you imagine if you watch a show and then suddenly you're watching yourself as one of the cast on that show? Very, very surreal. But now I guess it's 7 years in. It's pretty normal. It's all we really know. So yeah.
So we all know that Frederick from $1 Million Listing New York has now joined your cast. What's it like having him on the show with you guys?
Seen the first episode and the second episode where the drama kicked off. We were doing a deal with Frederick on Corsica in the Pacific Palisades. Everything was going well up until he said something he shouldn't have said about the deal, and it all kind of imploded. But having said that, I'm a dear fan of Frederick's personally. Our kids know each other, they play together, and him and Derek are so sweet. They've been around to our house, we've been around to theirs. And truthfully, business is, there's two different aspects, right? You have the business aspect and you have the personal aspect. Sometimes because the tensions and the pressures are so high, the business aspect can just go crazy, right? But I like to maintain that the friendship aspect is always intact. And I'm a big fan of him and his family.
So we've been seeing a lot of drama across social media with Frederick and the other cast members, but I don't think I've seen you or James involved at all. So how is that you guys stay away from the drama when the whole cast seems to be involved?
Well, I think it doesn't concern us, frankly, right? I think from, I don't know much about it, but from what I understand, it was something to do with Josh Flagg moving to Douglas Elliman, and we're not a Douglas Elliman. Tracy, Josh, Frederick, and Josh Flagg are, right? So it probably, whatever is happening is more relevant to them than us. So I mean, we don't typically like to get involved in some drama or something that's happening if it doesn't really concern us.
Okay, so speaking of drama, you and James were quoted about the season, and you both said that it's the craziest season yet with all the drama. So tell us then, what can we expect to see for the rest of the season?
You know what, Justine? It's not about what you can expect to see. It's what you expect. You basically see everything. It's what is not being seen, and there is nothing that is not seen. Like, there's drama between everyone and anyone, just like, whether it's Frederick and Altman, Frederick and Tracy, us and Altman, us and Frederick, Flag and Frederick. It's just like complete drama fest. And actually, normally, previous seasons, it's been specific, the drama between two cast members or maybe three, right? This is just a free for all. This is like, and it's so raw and real because it's just so much going on right now. And the world is so crazy post COVID and all the pressures and the market's on fire. I mean, it's a recipe for a very good season.
So here's what I really want to know. What is real estate really like? Like, is the show a proper representation of what it's like to be in real estate? Do you feel like other agents are having fights and drama the way that you guys do?
Absolutely. I mean, it's like, truthfully, it's like, again, it's a very competitive industry. Everyone is treading on each other's toes. Some people don't stay in their lane when maybe they should, and it causes friction and problems and tension. And we're competing with everyone for listings. We're competing with everyone for clients. And ultimately, it's just a natural result for it just to go from a 2 to a 10 in about 1 minute, right? So it's very, very real, and it's a very real part of our industry.
So far this season, it seems like you guys are all on the same page, and you're all saying that the market is really hot right now. There's a lot of demand. You don't even know what to do with all of the demand. So what do you attribute that to? What's caused this change in the market?
Truthfully, you go post-COVID, Los Angeles specifically is an incredible place to live. You have the climate, you have the lifestyle, you have a lot of outdoor space typically where maybe you wouldn't in a more densely populated, I guess, vertical city like New York, for example. But the truth is now, you couple that with low interest rates and you just have very low inventory because the demand is well exceeding the supply. And when that happens, something comes up on the market that's good and you've got 30 offers on it. And it's just crazy. And what that actually means is one buyer is going to get that property, right? It means 29 other people are missing out on it and are still in the market. And are going to go even more aggressive on the next deal. So it's very much demand outstripping supply.
So we interviewed Mauricio a few months back. We loved him. And he only had the nicest things to say about you and James. So we want to know from you now, what's it like working with Mauricio?
So working for Mauricio, it's been about 8 years now. I can't believe it's already been 8 years. He is the nicest guy. And let me tell you something, even yesterday, I call him, we speak all the time because we do a lot of business together. And I called him probably 7 times yesterday. And at the end of it, I was like, Mauricio, why don't you just tell me to F off? I must be driving you crazy. And he just laughed and he goes, I'd never do that. And he's just a good guy with so much patience. He has such incredible, he just has such an incredible temperament, and he's so great to work with. And I'm very, very grateful for all the opportunities he's given us, and the fact that he is our boss, and I love him.
David, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Justine. I hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks for having me on, and enjoy the rest of the season. It is gonna be wild.